Every second, every minute, every hour, every day, everything, everyone, every place, every way. Where you walk, where you stand, where you love, where you pray. All of life is holy ground. Every he, every she, every what, every who. It's in her, it's in them, it's in me, it's in you. In the bitter, in the sweet, in the calm, in the storm. All of life is holy ground. So walk as if it's holy ground. Breathe as if it's all around. Talk and make a holy sound. Take your shoes off, you're on holy ground. When you hurt, when you heal, when you laugh, when you pray, when you hold, when you keep, when you give it away. Every second, every minute, every hour, every day. All of life is holy ground. So walk as if it's holy ground. Breathe as if it's all around. Talk and make a holy sound. Take your shoes off, you're on holy ground. We are one journey, one story, one tapestry we weave. One people, one glory, one legacy we leave. Every second, every minute, every hour, every day, everything, everyone, every place, every way. Where you walk, where you stand, where you love, where you pray. All of life is holy ground. All of life is holy ground.
Shabbat Shalom and welcome. It is my pleasure to welcome you to the TSE Brotherhood service. My name is Michael Singer, Brotherhood President. I wish I was able to be with you in our temple sanctuary tonight. Instead, we continue our temple virtual Shabbat services as we continue to focus on the well-being of our community via social distancing. In this service, you will see and hear many voices joining together in our worship, including some new voices to our Brotherhood service. I was listening to the music from The Greatest Showman over the weekend, and the words from the song, A Million Dreams, had a message for me this week. A million dreams are keeping me awake. I think of what the world could be. A vision of the one I see. A million dreams is all it is going to take. Oh, a million dreams for the world we are going to make. In this week's Torah portion, Mishpatim, God conveys to the people of Israel a series of laws for our society. Follow these laws, and God promises to bring the people to the Holy Land of Israel. I can only imagine the millions of dreams the Lord must have had in laying out these laws and the traditions for the chosen people of Israel. What are your dreams for the future? For our temple, for our community, for our nation, and for our world? Let us begin the Brotherhood service. Shabbat Shalom.
Please turn to page 124. May the door of this synagogue be wide enough to receive all who hunger for love, all who are lonely for friendship.
May it welcome all who have cares to unburden, thanks to express, hopes to nurture.
May the door of this synagogue be narrow enough to shut out pettiness and pride, envy and enmity.
May its threshold be no stumbling block to young or straying feet.
May it be too high to admit complacency, selfishness, and harshness.
May this synagogue be, for all who enter, the doorway to a richer and more meaningful life.
Page 126. I begin with a prayer of gratitude for all that is holy in my life. God needs no words, no English or Hebrew, no semantics and no services. But I need them. Through prayer, I can sense my inner strength, my inner purpose, my inner joy, my capacity to love. As I reach upward in prayer, I sense these qualities in my Creator. To love God is to love each other, to work to make our lives better. To love God is to love the world God created, and to work to perfect it. To love God is to love dreams of peace and joy that illume all of us, and to bring that vision to life. Page 127. We offer thanks, O God, for this Shabbat, which unites us in faith and hope, for Shabbat holiness, which inspires sacred living, for Shabbat memories, glowing even in darkness, for Shabbat peace, born of friendship and love. We offer thanks and blessing, O God. Shabbat Shalom.
We continue with L'cha Dodi on page 138.
L'cha l'cha dodi, l'krat kala, penei penei Shabbat ne Kabbalah. L'cha l'cha dodi, l'krat kala, penei penei Shabbat ne Kabbalah. La 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 l'cha dodi, l'krat kala, penei penei Shabbat ne Kabbalah. L'cha dodi, l'krat kala, penei penei Shabbat ne Kabbalah. שמור וזכור בדיבור אחד, השמיענו אל המיוחד, אדוני אחד ושמו אחד, לשם ותפארת ולתהילה, לה 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 לך לך דודי, לקראת קלה, פני פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי, לקראת קלה, פני פני שבת נקבלה. Hitoruri, Kiva Orech, Kumi Ori, Uri, Shir Daberi, Kivod Adonai Alayich, Nigla la 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 lecha dodi, lekrat kala, Pene Shabbat ne Kabbalah. Lecha dodi, lekrat kala, Pene Shabbat ne Kabbalah. Shalom, Ateret Ba'ala, Gam B'simcha, Uv'tzahola, Toch Emunei, Am Segula, Boichala, la 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 la, Lecha dodi, lekrat kala, Penei Shabbat ne Kabbalah. Lecha dodi, lekrat kala, Penei Shabbat ne Kabbalah, la 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 lecha dodi, lekrat kala, Penei Shabbat ne Kabbalah. Lecha dodi, lekrat kala, Penei Shabbat ne Kabbalah.
We now continue with the lighting of the Shabbat candles on page 120.
As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us, as their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light. So may we in our own day be among those who kindle light. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu mitzotav v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat. Amen, 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 amen. Amen.
Page 144. Please rise. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei rabbah v'alma divrach hirotei v'yamlich malchutei v'chayechon uv'yomechon uv'chayei dechol beit Yisrael bagala uv'izman kariv v'yimeru amen. Yehi shmei rabbah mevorach Le'alam u'al me'almaya Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitraman v'yitnaseh v'yithadar v'yithaleh v'yithalal Shemei dekudisha barichu le'al min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata Damiran bi'alama v'yimeru. Amen.
Now please turn in your prayer books to page 146 and rise for the Burrahud.
Praise Adonai, to whom praise is due forever. Praise be Adonai, to whom praise is due, now and forever. Baruch hu et Adonai hamvorach. Baruch Adonai hamvorach leolam va'ed.
We continue on page 147.
O God, you are as near as the very air we breathe, yet farther than the farthermost star. We yearn to reach you. We seek the light and warmth of your presence, though we say you are near. We are lonely and alone. Oh, let our desire be so strong that it will tear the veil that keeps you from our sight. Let your light release our darkness and reveal the glory and joy of your presence.
Please join us on page 150.
Ahavat olam Beit Yisrael Amcha ahavta Torah u'mitzvot Chukim u'mishpatim Utanu limadeta Al kein Adonai Eloheinu b'shlokbeinu uvkumeinu nasiach b'shlokecha v'nishmach b'divrei Toratcha u'mitzvotecha li'olam va'ed ki hem chayenu v'yorech yameinu Uvahem nege yomam v'layla, nege yomam v'layla. V'avatcha al tasir, mimenu li'olamim. Baruch atah Adonai, ohev amo Yisrael. Ohev amo Yisrael.
Page 151. As you taught Torah to those whose names I bear, teach me Torah too. Its mystery beckons, yet I struggle with its truth. You mean Torah for me? Did you mean the struggle for me too? Don't let me struggle alone. Help me to understand, to be wise, to listen, to know. Lead me into the mystery.
Please turn to page 152 for the Kriyat Hashma. Please rise. Hear, O Israel, Adonai is our God, Adonai is one. Blessed is God's glorious majesty forever and ever. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem Kivod Malchuto, Leolam Va'ed. Please turn to page 154. You may be seated. V'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha v'chol levavcha v'chol nafshecha u'v'chol me'odecha v'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavcha hayom al levavecha v'shinantan levanecha v'dibarta bam v'shivtecha b'veitecha uvlechtecha b'derech uv'shachbecha uv'kumecha ukshartam le'ot al yadecha v'hayu letotafot bein einecha uchtachtam al mezuzot beitecha uvisharecha leman tizkiru ve'asitem et kol mitzvotai ve'hayitem kedoshim leloichem Ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim liot lechem lelohim Ani Adonai Elohechem.
You shall love Adonai your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your might. Take to heart these instructions with which I charge you this day. Impress them upon your children. Recite them when you stay at home and when you are away, when you lie down and when you get up. Bind them as a sign on your hand, and let them serve as a symbol on your forehead. Inscribe them on the doorposts of your house and on your gates. Thus you shall remember to observe all my commandments, and to be holy to your God. I am Adonai, your God, who brought you out of the land of Egypt to be your God. I am Adonai, your God. Adonai Elohechem Emeth.
Page 157. In a world torn by violence and pain, a world far from wholeness and peace, give us the courage to say, Adonai. There is one God in heaven and earth. The high heavens declare your glory. May earth reveal your justice and love. From bondage in Egypt we were delivered. At Sinai we bound ourselves to your way. Inspired by prophets and instructed by sages, time and again we overcame oppressive forces. Though our failings are many and our faults are great, it has been our glory to bear witness to our God, keeping alive in dark ages your vision of a world redeemed. Let us continue to work for the day when the nations will be one and at peace. Then shall we rejoice as Israel did, singing on the shores of the sea.
We turn to page 158. Who is like you, O God, among the gods that are worshipped? Who is like you, majestic in holiness, awesome in splendor, working wonders? Your children witnessed your sovereignty, the sea splitting before Moses and Miriam. This is our God, they cried. Adonai will reign forever and ever. Thus it is said, Adonai redeemed Jacob from a hand stronger than his own. Praised are you, Adonai, for redeeming Israel. Baruch atah Adonai, Kahal Israel.
Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi chamocha nedar ba'kodesh. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi chamocha nedar ba'kodesh. Nora tehilot, osef tele. Nora tehilot, osef tele. Adonai yimloch leolam va'ed. Adonai leolam va'ed. בראשותך ראו בניך, בוקי הים לפני משה ומרים, זה אלי אנו ויאמרו, זה אלי אנו ויאמרו, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד.
Page 161. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Adonai, help us to walk with good companions, to live with hope in our hearts and eternity in our thoughts, that we may lie down in peace and rise up waiting to do your will.
Take 163. You are with us in our prayer, our love, and our doubt, in our longing to feel your presence and do your will. You are the still clear voice within us. Therefore, O God, when doubt troubles us, when anxiety makes us tremble, when pain clouds the mind, we look inward for answers to our prayers. There may we find you, and there find courage, insight, and endurance. And let our worship bring us closer to one another, that all Israel and all who seek you may find new strength for your service.
And now please turn the page to 164, and please rise if you are able and willing for the tefillah. Anananananana Adonai, Ananananana Svatai Tivta, Ananananana Ufi Agid, Ufi Agid Tehilatecha, Ananananana Adonai, Ananananana Svatai Tivta, Ananananana Ufi Agid, Ufi Agid Tehilatecha, Ananananana Adonai, Ananananana Svatai Tivta, Ananananana Ufi Agid, Ufi Agid Tehilatecha, Ananananana Adonai, Ananananana Svatai Tivta, Ananananana Ufi Agid, Ufi Agid Tehilatecha, Ananananana Adonai, Ananananana Svatai Tivta, Ananananana Ufi Agid, Ufi Agid Tehilatecha.
Please turn to the top of page 166. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu v'Elohei Avoteinu v'Imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, v'Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, v'Elohei Leah, Har-El Hagadol, Hagibor v'Har-Norah, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, v'Konei HaKol, v'Zocher Chasdei Avo v'imaho, Umevi Gula Livnei V'neihem, L'ma'an Shemo B'Ahava, Melech Ozer, Umoshia Umagen, Baruch Atah Adonai, Magen Avraham V'Ezrat Sarah.
Page 168. Atah Gibor L'Olam Adonai, Mechaye HaKol Atarav L'Hoshia, Mechalkel Chaim B'Chesed, Mechaye HaKol B'Rachamim Rabim, Somech Noflim, V'Rofei Cholim, Umatir Asurim, Kayem Emunato Lishanei Afar, Mi Chamocha Ba'al Givurot, Umi Domer Lach, Melech Meimit, Chaye, Umatzmiach Yeshua, V'ne'eman Atah L'Hachayot HaKol, Baruch Atah Adonai, Mechaye HaKol. Page 170. Atah Kadosh, v'simcha kadosh, u'kdoshim b'chom yom yihalalucha selah. Baruch atah Adonai, ha'el hakadosh.
Please turn to the top of page 173. May these hours of rest and renewal open our hearts to joy and our minds to truth. May all who struggle find rest on this day. May all who suffer find solace. May all who hurt find healing on this day. May all who hunger find fulfillment on this day. And may this day fulfill its promise.
We continue on page 179. Grant us peace, your most precious gift, O eternal source of peace, and give us the will to proclaim its message. To all the peoples of the earth, bless our country as a safeguard of peace, its advocate among the nations. May contentment reign within our borders, health and happiness within our homes. Strengthen the bonds of friendship and fellowship among all the inhabitants of every land. Plant virtue in every soul, and may the love of your name hallow every home and every heart. Praised are you, Eternal One, who blesses our people with peace. Baruch atah Adonai, Havrecha Amo Yisrael Bashalom.
Shalom Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Ki atahu melech Adon Lechol hashalom. Ki atahu melech Adon Lechol hashalom. Shalom Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. V'tov beinecha livarei et Amcha Yisrael b'chol lev v'choshav b'shlomecha. Shalom Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam.
A Prayer for Our Country, page 376. O guardian of life and liberty, may our nation always merit your protection. Teach us to give thanks for what we have by sharing it with those who are in need. Keep our eyes open to the wonders of creation and alert to the care of the earth. May we never be lazy in the work of peace. May we honor those who have died in defense of our ideals. Grant our leaders wisdom and forbearance. May they govern with justice and compassion. Help us to appreciate one another and to respect the many ways that we may serve you. May our homes be safe from affliction and strife, and may our country be bound in body and spirit. Amen.
We now continue with the Misha Berach Get Well prayer on page 371. May the one who blessed our ancestors Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebecca, Leah, and Rachel, bless and heal those who are ill. This evening we think of Gina Rippon, Al Friedman, Ellen Waldron, Lori Gordon, Ruth Pernick, Rabbi Ellen Weinberg Dreyfus. We think of the millions of people across the country who continue to be infected by the COVID disease, many of whom are struggling in hospitals, others not knowing what the future will bring, others not feeling 100% recovered. And we pray for all of us in our country, all of us who are in need of healing at this moment. As we begin our new beginning, we still have PTSD. We have shades of worry and fear and uncertainty. So mentally, we all really need this Misha Berach get well prayer this evening. May the Blessed Holy One be filled with compassion for all of their health to be restored and all of their strength to be revived. May God swiftly send them a complete renewal of body and spirit. And let us say, Amen.
Mi sheberach avoteinu, Avraham, Yitzchak v'Yaakov. Mi sheberach imoteinu, Sarah, Rivka, Leah, v'Rachel. May the one who blessed our mothers, may the one who blessed our fathers, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, hear our prayer. Bless us with the power of your healing. Bless us with the power of your hope. May our hearts be filled with understanding and strengthened by the power of your love. Mi sheberach avoteinu, Avraham, Yitzchak v'Yaakov. Mi sheberach imoteinu, Sarah, Rivka, Leah, v'Rachel. Bless us with a vision for tomorrow. Help us to reach out to those in pain. May the warmth of friendship ease our sorrow. Give us courage, give us faith, show us the way. Mi sheberach avoteinu, mi sheberach imoteinu. Hear our prayer, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, and bless us as well.
We pause for a moment of silent prayer. We now continue with Oseh Shalom, a song for peace on page 180.
Oseh Shalom, Bimromav, Uya Oseh Shalom, Aleinu, Ve'al Kol Yisrael, Ve'imru, Amen. Oseh Shalom, Bimromav, Uya Oseh Shalom, Aleinu, Ve'al Kol Yisrael, Ve'imru, Amen. Oseh Shalom, Bimromav, Uya Oseh Shalom, Aleinu, Ve'al Kol Yisrael, Ve'imru, Amen. Oseh Shalom, Bimromav, Uya Oseh Shalom, Aleinu, Ve'al Kol Yisrael, Ve'imru, Amen. This brings us to the Dvar Torah portion of tonight's Brotherhood Shabbat service. We are fortunate to have Ben Einsidler presenting the Dvar tonight. As many of you know, Ben is Temple Shalom Emeth's religious school director and Gimel class teacher. Ben has been an educator in Jewish settings for over 10 years now. He's a second-year rabbinical student at Hebrew College, where he has earned a master's degrees in both Jewish education and Jewish studies. I've had the fortune to be a student of Ben's as part of the Temple Adult Education Program, where Ben has led the last 2 sessions on Talmud study. I have found Ben to be a very engaging instructor. I look forward to listening to Ben's Dvar tonight. Take it away, Ben.
Shabbat Shalom. This week, we read Parshat Mishpatim, which contains an enumeration of laws that Bnei Israel are to follow, in addition to the 10 which they heard at Sinai last week. In addition, this Shabbat is Shabbat Shekalim, the first of the 4 special Shabbatot that lead up to Passover in about a month and a half. Parshat Mishpatim famously contains the laws of what is known in Latin as lex talionis, or the laws of retaliation. We call this today an eye for an eye. Exodus 21, verse 23 through 26 reads, "But if other damage ensues, the penalty shall be life for life, eye for eye, tooth for tooth, hand for hand, foot for foot, burn for burn, wound for wound, bruise for bruise. When a man strikes the eye of his slave, male or female, and destroys it, he shall let him go free on account of his eye." The surface meaning of the text here sounds severe. However, the commentators uniformly clarify that the text here refers to monetary compensation. We are not literally beholden to be wounded by someone whom we ourselves wound, but rather make financial restitution. In this way, the law ensures a measure of equality for all in some way. This protection extends even to the most vulnerable among us who don't have any other means of protection or wealth. My teacher, Rabbi Shai Held, writes, Parshat Mishpatim contains perhaps the most well-known articulation of this charge to protect the vulnerable. V'ger lo tilchetz, v'atem yedatem et nefesh hager, ki gerim hayitem be'eretz Mitzrayim. You shall not oppress a stranger, for you know the feelings of the stranger, having yourselves been strangers in the land of Egypt. We also learn in this parsha, famously, you shall not oppress any widow or orphan. Kol almana v'yatom lo ti'anun. The Israelites, mere weeks after being freed from slavery in Egypt, are already obligated to change their behavior based on the experience of being vulnerable themselves. By meriting being taken out of slavery and then chosen as God's partners in the covenant, they are already beholden to use their negative experiences as motivation not to treat others as they were treated, but rather as they should be treated. Just as the pursuit of justice is commanded to be a communal activity in our parsha, so too are we commanded today regarding the practice of mechatzit hashekel. On Shabbat Shekalim, we also read the special portion which commands us each to provide a half shekel towards the maintenance of the tent of meeting. Today, this is done in the form of donations to a holy community, such as a synagogue or a school. Both the pursuit of justice and the maintenance of our holy precincts cannot be accomplished alone. They are communal enterprises, in which we strengthen the bonds between ourselves and rededicate ourselves to our ideas. We have a fiduciary obligation to each other, as well as a financial one to the communities that service our needs. Let us each be reinvigorated this Shabbat with a sense of purpose, of justice, and rededication to our ideals in the midst of this most difficult time. If we put in the legwork, I'm sure it will be to our communal benefit in the end. Shabbat Shalom.
Ben, thank you so much for that Dvar Torah tonight. I know you gave us a lot to think about. We continue with the Aleinu on page 586. Please rise in body or spirit.
Aleinu lishabeach la'adon hakol, latet gedula liyotzer bereshit, shelo asanu kigoyei ha'aratzot, velo samanu kemishpechot ha'adama, shelo sam chelkenu kahem, v'gor aleinu kichol hamonam, va'anachnu korim, ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוסר הארץ ומשה יקרו בשמיים ממעל ושכינתו זו בגבהי מרומים, הוא אלוהינו אין עוד. אמת מלכנו אפס זולתו, כך כתוב בתורתו, וידעת היום והשבות אל לבביך, כי אדוני הוא האלוהים בשמיים ממעל, והארץ מתחת. אין עוד. ונאמר, והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ. היום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד. ונאמר, והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ. ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד. ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד. ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד. ונאמר, והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ. ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד. אחד ושמו אחד. אחד ושמו אחד.
Page 599, Mourner's Kaddish. We think of our loved ones whom death has recently taken from us, those who died at this season in years past, and those whom we have drawn into our hearts with our own.
We recall Muriel Kasanov, Sheldon Kramer, and Bill Waldron, who died during this past month. We recall those whose yahrzeits or anniversary of whose deaths occur this week: Harry Fass, Samuel Arnold, Jacob Wasserman, Libby Rosenberg, Ann Cutter, Dan Kessler.
Zichron livracha, may their memories be for a blessing. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei rabbah, v'yalmar divra kirutei v'yamlich malkutei, v'chayechon uvyomechon uchayei dekol beit Yisrael, ba'agala uvizman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shmei rabbah mevorach le'olam olmei amaya. Yitbarach v'yittabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitraman v'yitnaseh v'yithadar v'yithalel v'yithalal shmei dekusha b'richu leila min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechamata damimran v'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shlama rabbah min shemaya v'chaim aleinu v'kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom v'imramav hu yaseh shalom aleinu v'kol Yisrael v'imru amen.
We will continue with the Kiddush and the Motzi. You can find that on page 123.
Page 122, the Kiddush. The heaven and the earth were finished in all their array. On the seventh day, God finished the work that God had been doing, and God ceased on the seventh day from all the work that God had done. And God blessed the seventh day and declared it holy, because on it God ceased from all the work of creation that God had done. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam Borei Peri Hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam Asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho b'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu zikaron l'maseh bereshit ki hu yom tefila l'mikra'e kodesh
Zecher Letziat Mitzrayim. Kivanu v'acharta, v'yotanu kidashta, mikol hamim, v'shabbat kodshecha, v'yahava uvratzon, hinchaltanu. Baruch atah Adonai, mikadesh HaShabbat. L'chaim.
Hamotzi lechem min haaretz. We give thanks to God for bread. Our voices rise in song together as a joyful prayer is said. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen.
This brings our Brotherhood service to a close. I would like to thank all of the participants for taking the time to record their portions and joining our voices together in worship. Thank you to Ben Einsidler for sharing his thoughts on tonight's Dvar. Let me put in a shameless plug for the upcoming adult education program on the meaning of prayer, led by Ben. I'm sure it will be very exciting. Tonight's service would not have been possible without our production and editor-in-chief, Rabbi Susan Abramson. She puts all the parts together for the service and is doing a magnificent job. Thank you also to Cantor Ben Silver and Sheldon Cooperman for their musical contribution to tonight's service. One of my million dreams is about the time when COVID is under control and our TSE community can once again gather, allowing the concepts of brotherhood and community to flourish. I invite all who are listening to join the TSE Brotherhood. Just reach out to me, Michael Singer, or to Sheldon Cooperman. Share one of your million dreams. How can we come together, either remotely or one day in person? We will now end with a Brotherhood tradition, the singing of Adon Olam.
Adon Olam,
Adon Olam,
Asher Malach,
Asher Malach,
B'terem Kol,
B'terem Kol,
Yitzir Nivra,
Yitzir Nivra,
V'yit Nasa,
V'yit Nasa, V'chefso Kol, Azam Ela Shemo Nikra Adon Olam,
V'yacharei Kichlot HaKol, Levado Yimlok Nora Adon Olam, V'hu Haya, V'hu Hoveh, V'hu Yeh B'tifara Adon Olam. Adon Olam,
Adon Olam,
Asher Malach,
Asher Malach,
B'terem Kol,
B'terem Kol,
Yitzir Nivra,
Yitzir Nivra,
V'yit Nasa,
V'yit Nasa, V'chefso Kol, Azam Ela Shemo Nikra Adon Olam, V'hu Echad, V'im Sheni, Lehamshil Lo Le'achbira Adon Olam, B'li Reshit, B'li Tachlit, V'lo Ha'oz V'ha'misra Adon Olam,
Adon Olam,
Adon Olam,
Asher Malach,
Asher Malach,
B'terem Kol,
B'terem Kol,
Yitzir Nivra,
Yitzir Nivra,
V'yit Nasa,
V'yit Nasa, V'chefso Kol, Azam Ela Shemo Nikra Adon Olam, V'hu Eli, V'chai Goali, V'tzorech Li V'yitzara Adon Olam, V'hu Nisi, Umanos Li, Menakosi V'yom Ekra Adon Olam,
Adon Olam,
Adon Olam,
Asher Malach,
Asher Malach,
B'terem Kol,
B'terem Kol,
Yitzir Nivra,
Yitzir Nivra,
V'yit Nasa,
V'yit Nasa, V'chefso Kol, Azam Ela Shemo Nikra Adon Olam, B'yado Afiruchi, B'yeti Sham V'ya'ira Adon Olam, Ve'im Ruchi, Geviati, Adonai Li V'lo Ira Adon Olam,
Adon Olam,
Adon Olam,
Asher Malach,
Asher Malach,
V'terem Kol,
V'terem Kol,
Yitzir Nivra,
Yitzir Nivra,
V'yet Nasa,
V'yet Nasa, V'hefzer Kol, Azar Melech Shemo Nikra Adon Olam.
Adon Olam, Adon Olam, Asher Malach, Asher Malach, V'terem Kol, V'terem Kol, Yitzir Nivra, V'yet Nasa, V'yet Nasa, V'hefzer Kol, Azar Melech Shemo Nikra Adon Olam, V'yacharei Tikun HaKol, Levado Yimloch Nora Adon Olam, V'hu Haya, V'hu Hodeh, V'hu Yiyem V'tivara Adon Olam, Adon Olam, Adon Olam, Hashem Malach, Hashem Malach, V'terem Kol, Yitzir Nivra, V'yet Nasa, V'hefzer Kol, Azar Melech Shemo Nikra Adon Olam, V'hu Echad, V'yein Sheni, Le'hashilo V'hakriva Adon Olam, V'yireshi, V'litani, V'lo Ha'od V'hamizra Adon Olam, Adon Olam, Adon Olam, Hashem Malach, Hashem Malach, V'terem Kol, V'terem Kol, Yitzir Nivra, V'yet Nasa, V'hefzer Kol, Azar Melech Shemo Nikra Adon Olam, V'hu Eli, V'chai Goali, V'tzorchem li v'yetzara Adon Olam, V'hu Nisi, Umanosi, Menakosi B'yom Ekra Adon Olam, Adon Olam, Adon Olam, Hashem Malach, Hashem Malach, V'terem Kol, Yitzir Nivra, V'yet Nasa, V'hefzer Kol, Azar Melech Shemo Nikra Adon Olam, B'yado Hakim Ruchi, V'yet Isha V'nivra Adon Olam, V'yim Ruchi, V'yati, Adonai